So, hello everyone. I am sitting here with Amanda Porter. She is a educator at the Abdominal Therapy Collective. And just to tell you a little bit about Amanda, Amanda's story begins in the midst of time when she was raising her wonderful offspring. And being interested in complementary therapy, she used the spirit of her life to learn about a variety of therapies and techniques that could help her children through their early years and beyond. And when her children flew the nest, she felt the calling to become a complementary therapist and embarked on a life-changing journey. And on that journey, and this was in 2005, on the insistence of her great friend Hilary Lewin, she attended an amazing class based on the work of Dr. Rosita Arvigo, and this workshop had a profound effect on her whole being. So this is really sparking my interest, Amanda. Could you tell us why, yes, you felt compelled to do this workshop? What happened in that workshop, and how did you move on further along?
Well, thank you, Lisa. It's beautiful, wonderful to be here with you. Hilary, I had had my children. I'd had natural births at home. I was always interested in food as medicine, and we ate organically. And my children grew up like little wild things in a forest. And I saw them grow and thrive. I used homeopathy and I used essential oils and massage and bodywork and all sorts of things to support them as they grew up. And I thought, in my late 30s, early 40s, I thought, I've got good digestion, my menstruation is good. Don't really know why I'm going on this basic series class. But Hilary, who was my lifelong friend, said, "You've got to go, you're going to enjoy it." This workshop was actually a 3-day workshop that incorporated YAM, your uterine health, your digestive health, and also some information on prostate health. So it was a really exciting workshop. The thing that really landed in my body was, even though I thought, hey, I'm balanced, all is good, when I laid down on the floor and did that first guided YAM journey,
And
we
just
all
for our
snuggled in.
listeners, Amanda,
Mhm.
YAM stands for your
Your abdominal
abdominal
massage.
massage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that word, the YAM.
And it's a little technique that we give to all our clients and anybody that attends a class to support our own body's function. So I was learning this technique in a group setting, laying down, and I started to do my own massage in a guided way over my abdomen, and my whole body went into tetany. And tetany is when the body starts to violently shake. I had no pain, I had no inflammation, but literally energy was just moving out of my body. This was actually on day 1 of the class, and we did that little group practice together just after lunch. Even by 5 o'clock in the evening, when we're saying our goodbyes and getting ready to leave, the course leader wouldn't let me go. She said I'm not present in my body, and this class was in London and I was going to be driving a car. And it took them a good 45 minutes to actually ground me back in. So I went home and sat with this experience and thought, what's going on here? What is in this body that is not normally even acknowledged within Western medical practice, but obviously there's something here, and that was what piqued my interest. That was what actually, at that time, I wasn't even a massage therapist, and to access Dr. Rosita's classes, I had to have massage training. So straight after that 3-day workshop, I went and enrolled on an ITEC massage, holistic massage training here in the UK. And I've just looked at my record. So that class was in 2025. And the following year, in the end of the year, in November 26, I flew all the way to America to abdominal therapy part one and part two class with Rosita. And that was the beginning of my journey.
Wow, what an amazing story. So your bodily experience really pulled you in and got your interest.
Yeah, my
Wow.
own body.
Yes.
During that process of the learning, I was practicing within the abdominal therapy. We have something that we call your home care kit. So it's lots of other gentle practices that are really easy to incorporate into daily life. And I used all of these during this process to work on my own body, and it was the results that I got to my own body that further inspired me to carry on learning and to want to share this work with other people.
Wow. And when did you then become an educator?
Ah, 2018.
Wow. It's already quite some time ago too, huh? We're now
Yes,
2025, almost 2026.
yes. So it's
Yeah.
quite a few years now.
Yeah.
In my sort of past life, when I had my children, I was an early years educator. So I worked with young people from birth to 5 years old, and I've always had a passion for education. One of the things that I really enjoy about this work is that even as a therapist, abdominal therapy practitioners are educators in their own right. They are educating every client that walks through the door. So it's a natural progression for me to go on from educating my clients and wanting to educate educators as well.
Mm.
And
That's wonderful.
that's
Mm.
bringing me much joy at the moment. The Abdominal Therapy Collective run an educator program, and I'm just loving seeing new educators walk out into the world to share this work with their own communities in many different languages. That's a
Mm.
joy.
Wonderful. And I remember there is a wish, correct me if I'm wrong, from Dr. Rosita to have an abdominal therapist in every village of the world.
That's
So
right.
to really help and support in ways that other therapies often, yeah, it's really like an addition to many other practices.
I believe you're right. It is an addition. Rosita quite often says it's the missing link. We have therapists training this work with wonderful skills from all sorts of modalities. But when they leave our classes, they say, that's the piece that is going to join everything together.
Yeah.
From our conversations with Rosita and my colleagues at the ATC, which is the Abdominal Therapy Collective, I feel that many techniques or modalities that have their roots in ancient cultures are very, very similar. They're working more in a more holistic way. They have always recognised, even 2,000 years ago, before Gabor Mate and before trauma specialism came out, or the word myofascial release or visceral manipulation, they knew all of these techniques, and most ancient modalities weave all three together anyway. And Maya medicine, which is the roots of the work that we present, is exactly the same. It's a weaving.
Mm. That's beautifully explained. Yeah, and I mean, this work has an anterior part where we really work on the abdomen itself, but there is also a posterior part.
Mm-hmm.
And when I first started, I thought, posterior part. Can you explain a little bit about that? How does the work on the posterior, why is that also called abdominal therapy?
Okay, so I would ask you a question. Are you two-dimensional?
Mm.
And that really is the answer. We are three-dimensional beings. Everything in the body is connected. If we think about the abdomen, this is where the majority of we perceive the majority of our organs to be. Those organs are hanging and connected to and integral to the bony structures. Now, if the bony structures are in any way unoptimally aligned, restricted, held in place due to injury, trauma, or surgery, that's going to affect how the organs are orientated in the body. So the back and the front, there is no disconnection. This work led me to go and train deeper into anatomy with a wonderful anatomist called Gil Headley, and he presents something called relational anatomy. So rather than seeing everything as the circulatory system, the digestive system, the reproductive system, when he is looking at the anatomy of the physical form, he's actually looking at the connections. So, for example, tension in the belly, in the gut, for example, can result in backache. So releasing tension in the belly can actually get rid of backache, but that's not your client's first point of call. When they get backache, they want to go for a back massage. And it's only through exploring and beginning to understand that we are a circle, a cylinder. And by working all the way around, this is how we release, relax, and allow the body to come back to optimum.
Wow, what a lovely explanation. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, taking all the parts of our being into account too, huh? With your previous answer as well. And then another question that I sometimes get, or some confusion, what, from your perspective and the perspective of this work, abdominal therapy, what's the difference between abdominal massage and abdominal therapy?
Great question. If I was just doing abdominal massage, I would just be working on the anterior body. And there are many techniques, some coming from ancient traditions. For example, Chen Tsung. Chen Tsung is an abdominal massage from traditional Chinese medicine roots. And it is specific. They are saying we are just going to work here. Abdominal therapy is a therapy that includes not only body work, but allowing yourself to be in an environment where the whole of you can be seen and heard, where you feel safe, just like I felt safe in that basic series class, and I did my massage and energy was moving out of my body. Energy is one of the systems that is as important from an abdominal therapy perspective as the flow of blood, as the flow of nervous innervation, as the flow of lymph. To come back to wholeness, all of the flows in the body need to be in balance and in harmony. And sadly, in 21st century life, the balance within the body is continually being thrown out of kilter. And having a technique that you can do at home, which is that YAM, your abdominal massage, empowers every person that sees an abdominal therapist to have a tool they can use. So when they feel that imbalance, and it could be because they've eaten too late, it could be because they've had an argument, it could be because they were rushing to work. All of these things are going to put your body out of balance slightly. And YAM is the technique that brings it back. So abdominal therapy is not just about what you receive in the client setting, in the therapy space. Abdominal therapy is about the support and the tools that you are given to help you look after yourself when you leave, and the support that you get from your therapist. It's not the sort of therapy that you go for one treatment and think, oh, that's it, I'm done. I personally have a brilliant classical osteopath. I see him regularly, but I know when I'm out, that's the end of my session. Abdominal therapy is very different from that. It's more continuing support, continuing love and guidance.
What a beautiful explanation. And this is also one of the things that I really love about this work is to give and be able to give people tools so that they can look after themselves. And I have also found these also really wonderful tools to help me look after myself.
Yes.
And yes, the energy, but also the nervous system is really, yeah, it's so soothing to do this self-abdominal massage. And interesting things also that I find is that people say, when I've massaged their belly, and yes, every once in a while we touch the feet and we touch the back, body, they say, I feel like I've had a full body massage.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
wow, this is really, it's something is really happening, from the belly as a starting point.
And this abdominal massage was actually developed by Dr. Rosita Arvigo. Back when she was living in Belize, she had a client base. Um, that obviously in that country you're not seeing people once a week for a course of treatment. And she wanted to help her clients so that when she wasn't there, they had something. And it was over her work with the Mennonite community that she personally developed what we know now as the YAM practice. That's not something that came from Donna Lichiopante or any of her teachers. And as far as I know, the abdominal therapy, it was the first therapy that incorporated a specific self-care massage that every therapist would gift to their clients on their first treatment.
Yeah.
Hilary, my
Yeah.
good friend, calls it your take-home gift. It's like your party bag. If you've gone to a party, you take your party bag home. If you
Mhm.
see an abdominal therapist, you go home with yam.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, it is very, very special. So, and I also find that clients use it in different ways and find their different ways of using it for themselves, how it works for them. I had a client who went on a business trip and she had irritable bowel syndrome. And yes, that had improved a lot, but on this business trip, she had no choice on what to eat or very little choice. And then she told me afterwards that in her hotel room, she would do her abdominal massage and her belly was fine, whereas in the past, it would not have been fine. And all these kind of stories, how people are using it before they go to bed or actually when they get up, or they do it in their yoga relaxation, and then first start with that, and then they do the relaxation. I always love hearing the stories of clients.
And I feel that in when the whole world was closed down, and as a therapist, I was not able to see clients face to face. I started to offer online consultations. And in those consultations, I would take the normal in-depth client health story. I could use some slides to talk about the anatomy and help my clients understand what was going on in their bodies. The one thing I could do, I couldn't touch them, but I could teach them to touch themselves. And I have had clients, I think, from places around the globe that I would never have come in contact with, just learn yam and get such amazing results. One poor lady was suffering from quite severe menopausal symptoms, and she was on her own. She had no one to reach out to. And we had this online consultation. She started to do YAM, and she wrote me the most beautiful email about a week later, telling me how these symptoms, including the anxiety, the brain fog, the night sweats, all these things that we know are associated with our nervous system, suddenly started to ease, and she started to feel more centered and grounded. And that's a huge gift, being able to offer these consultations online, which many of our practitioners do, and it's marked on their profiles on the website. So YAM is as important as seeing your practitioner. Obviously, I want to see my clients, but
Yeah.
when you've finished your course of treatment, YAM is what I call your tool for life. And
Yeah.
most people kind of forget about it when symptoms ease and they get busy again, but they come back. YAM will always be there for you.
Yeah. 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 Beautiful. I had one client and she, I mean, didn't have really severe problems. So I said, do yam at least 3 times. Or no, I said, do the yam 3 times per week. And then she came back and she said, but can I do it more often? Well, yes, I said you can do it every day of the week for the rest of your life. Huh? It's a gift for life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is a
Yeah.
gift for life. And
Yeah.
I have been blessed now because I have been doing this work for so long. When I started my training, I had to do 50 case studies. At that time, I had teenage sons. They were between the age of 16 and 20. And my house was kind of the hub of their little community. And I said to them all, okay, you can use my house as a hub. I'm really happy to stumble over 7 pairs of size 10 boots as I walk in the door, but you all need to be a case study for me. So all these young boys were my first case studies. And now those young boys are young men with their own families. And I've had calls for them saying, me and my partner are about to embark on our wish to conceive a baby. Can you support us preconception to postpartum? I'm like, yes. I've had them recall me and say, Amanda, you know that funny massage you taught me ages ago? I'm in a really busy stage in my business and I've got anxiety and I'm not sleeping well and I've lost my appetite. Can I come to you so you can remind me how to do this? Because I remember it helped me. So that was 20 years ago I planted that seed. And they were all a little bit reluctant because they were young boys and they were filling in quite a comprehensive client health story. Like, oh, I never thought I'd be talking about that with you.
Mhm.
But that seed has grown and they felt it. They might not even have understood it at that age, but they felt it and they remembered it and they came back to it.
What a beautiful story. And yeah, sometimes people think abdominal therapy and menstruation and digestion that it's for women.
Hmm.
But hearing your story and also heard before prostate problems in men, but also fertility, this therapy is as much suitable for men as it is for women. It's for all bodies.
Yes, I
Yeah.
say this therapy is for all earthlings. We
Mm.
are earthlings. And although we refer to the anatomical male pelvis, it's not just about prostate. It's about bringing balance and harmony to the whole body. If the pelvis is locked and tight, the diaphragm is locked and tight. If the diaphragm is locked and tight, the heart is restricted. And what cohort in our society has the most heart problems? It's not the females. It's actually our men. And who are less likely to reach out to a therapist? Most of my male clients have been referred by their partners. I am very lucky. I set the intention at the beginning of this work that I wanted to work with everybody. And I have treated a 6-week-old and a 92-year-old of the complete range of genders and female male anatomy in my clinic over my years. My client base is 50-50 at the moment, And that's not something I've had to work at. I believe that's an energy thing as well. And the results, I always say that the men that walk into my clinic are the gentlemen. And in English, we have the term gentleman, but actually, it's gentlemen, and they also need to find a place where they can be empowered to look after themselves. So, yes, I've worked with clients that have had liver surgery, liver cancer. So they've had huge amounts of abdominal surgery, which has affected gut function. And once again, it was a little card in the local health food shop that the partner picked up and said, "Oh, look at this." And they were very brave. I feel they were very brave. And he said, "Okay, I'm going to try this work out." That person has been a client for 10 years because life affects function. I've had a cohort of people who are attending because they are in recovery from bowel cancer surgery of both female and male anatomy. And the work works, whatever your anatomy is, because it's for earthlings.
Yeah. Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. And I am so incredibly happy and joyful, Amanda, that I can invite you and that I can welcome you in the Netherlands in October 2026 for the first part of this training, Abdominal Therapy for Professionals 1. It's called ATP 1, which is the anterior part of the work. And can you tell us a little bit about this training?
Yes, I can. The Abdominal Therapy Collective actually has a program of study so that all of our students can learn at their own pace and integrate the work and offer it to their own client base. So ATP1 is the anterior portion of the abdominal therapy technique. And in November next year, I'm very excited to be meeting you with legs and in person, and hopefully lots of students in the Netherlands to share this work. The ATP1 course focuses on, we will be diving into the anatomy and physiology of the digestive system, the female reproductive system and the male reproductive system. And our focus is on the abdominal work, the anterior portion, but also on how our practitioners hold space for their clients of all of the complementary therapies, all of the home care kit, teaching YAM to their clients, and welcoming them into the abdominal therapy community, because just like we offer holistic work, I feel the Abdominal Therapy Collective offer a holistic environment for our practitioners. So when you finish your training, you're not left just with the class. You are welcomed, and we have a huge, amazing online community that is safe and secure, not in any of the social media platforms, where our community gather, share client questions, receive lots of recordings, informations, practitioner-only events, and can access all of our documentation, which we're excited to be now offering in different languages as the work ripples out around the world.
Yeah, so some things will also be available in Dutch for
Yes,
those.
we are working hard on that, aren't we?
Yes, we are working on that. So yes, if you're working with Dutch clients, we are working on that. And also during the training, because I feel privileged to be in the class too as your assistant
Mhm.
and translator. So if there are people who need some translation of a word or of like more anatomical things, then I will be there to help you. And yes, everything you're saying you wanted to say something else about the
I was
training.
just going to say, Lisa, that one of those translations that you could be easily helping with is in the UK. We use the term irritable bowel syndrome.
Yeah,
And I would most likely shorten that in class to IBS,
yeah.
which might be a little confusing. And I believe there is a Dutch translation for that.
Which we call prikkelbaardarm syndrome, which is PDS. But yes, we can help you with that. And everything you're saying about this training, Amanda, is also how I experience it. I had already studied yoga for 20 years, working with it, I think even longer, I think 26 years or something, working with Ayurveda for 15 years with clients, and doing the medical basic studies, the anatomy and physiology. And then I came to the Abdominal Therapy Collective. I did my first training, and I was just blown away by all the bits about anatomy and physiology that I had not learned before. I was really like surprised and super happy about this. And yeah, what you say about the community afterwards, because of course, at the end of the training, I got the invitation to the collective. And I thought, okay, I don't want this notification that I get an email every day. You know, I don't like that because I'll go in when I want. But I have to say, I'm looking forward to these emails every day. I want these notifications because there's always such good questions being asked. And there's so much support from the whole community, including the educators that are so incredibly supportive to really support learning and learning more, learning further. Case studies can be shared. It's a really supportive environment that I have not experienced in any other organization so far. So I am super happy with the Abdominal Therapy Collective, and I am super happy working with my clients. And I'm super happy that now you are coming to the Netherlands to share this work with our Dutch community. We have a few practitioners here, but we can use more.
Okay, so I'm really curious. What was the one thing, if you could say at the end of your very first class, we do have this program of study, and after abdominal therapy for professionals part one, every student that attends that class can leave the class and start working with clients straight away, and you will see results in your clients. But what actually led you, Lisa, to continue in the program, and how far have you got? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I started with the abdominal therapy for professionals one, of course, because this is the place to start. I booked because I had heard somewhere about this work. I had kept it. I forgot where I learned about it, but I kept it. And at the time when time was right, I went, yes, that's it. This is what I want to do. And then I thought, maybe I should go and experience it too myself.
Good idea.
So I found a practitioner here in the Netherlands who also works with Ayurveda. So that was a really cool combination. And I thought after that treatment and felt it in my body, yes, this is the absolute right thing to do. And when I finished ATP1, I was not finished learning. I really appreciated and the depth of the work, the profound effects of the work, and also the depth of the anatomy and the physiology and all the extra things that I learned about that. But also the fact that there is a really strong lineage from traditional healers, uh, I found really important. I could feel it that it's not just something that someone developed, but it's really rooted in tradition, which is something that I really appreciate. And yeah, I mean, there was no question that I would not continue with ATP, the second part, so the posterior part, which is slightly different. It's less than a massage, I find, but more of a treatment around the sacrum and the pelvic bones and all the way to the coccyx. Very special work. And yeah, I fully inspired. So this past year, I really wanted to study more. And I really wanted to study with Dr. Rosita Arviga herself because I had met her online and so much knowledge, so much wisdom. So I went and I traveled to Corfu to take the ATP Plus and learned more skills, but also did a recap of many of the things that we already learned. But as trainings go, then you go on and you go off by yourself, you work with clients, you develop. But then some things I also forgot, it was good to have like to come back and to really have hands, the hands that really know what to do on my hands, showing this is what you do. Try it this way, try it that way. So I really felt, and I learned more techniques, many more techniques that were really amazing, but also a deepening of what I already learned. And I really feel a difference in my practice and my confidence. And then next year, I can't wait to do the pregnancy to postpartum training. And then, yes, then there's the wisdom work. I mean, it's like, it's a matter of when, not
Mm-hmm.
whether I want to do these trainings, but I really feel they're all trainings that make up the full work. Every training that I do with the Abdominal Therapy Collective makes it more complete.
Perfect.
And yes, that really makes me want to learn more and practice more to make it even more complete. So I am super grateful also because it's really made a change in my practice.
Ah, that's beautiful. I feel it was lovely that you got to go and receive a treatment before embarking on your training, and also rather special that that practitioner also offered the modality that is your training. And Ayurveda comes from a lineage and has its roots in traditional healing, and abdominal therapy comes from a lineage and has its roots in traditional healing. So I can see how in your practice they weave together really, really well. So, Liese, I'm really excited to be coming to work with you, but I'm curious, what practitioners do you feel in the Netherlands would like to access this course? I know that as an educator that that teaches in Europe where English is not the first language, I've observed that the regulations are very different in every country. So who do you feel will be able to access our class next November?
Well, there's quite a large group of people who could join, of professionals. What is important is that you are eligible to join an insurance company that allows you to touch other people or to touch clients. So whether you're a physiotherapist or a pelvic floor physiotherapist or a pelvic therapist or an Ayurveda practitioner or maybe someone working with fertility, midwives, doulas. It's really quite broad. People from the Chinese medicine perspective or acupuncturists who are allowed to touch people and who have the insurance that allows them to touch people. So really, it's quite, people come from all directions on these trainings.
That's wonderful. I know that recently I've actually noticed more pelvic floor physiotherapists in my classes, and that's really inspiring to see the work as not just for massage therapists. I know that I have a colleague down in Italy who is herself a home birth midwife, and she specifically trains the home birth midwife community. So midwives and nurse practitioners are also welcome on our training, and I feel that it is that diversity within our practitioner community that allows abdominal therapy to do exactly what you said at the beginning of this little interview, to bring into manifestation Rosita's wish that abdominal therapy is known in every village, that every wise woman or elder can speak to those that need this information about this work. It's very exciting.
Yes, it is very exciting. So the dates are the 8th to the 11th of October, 2026. That's when Amanda will come. There will be one day online, a couple of weeks before the physical training on location starts, so that you will learn your abdominal massage for yourself. You can experience it. And then we come on location in Utrecht, the beautiful city of Utrecht, and a very beautiful location where we will be. And of course, if you want to experience the treatment first of all, before you book, then contact me and I would be happy to give you a treatment and that you can experience it for yourself. So, yeah. Anything else you want to add, Amanda?
One other little thing. Thank you, Lisa. And I know that you've already been contacted by some practitioners who are interested and you've given them the treatment. So I envision people in the Netherlands doing their YAM, which excites
Yes.
me. But if you go to the Abdominal Therapy Collective website and you click on search for a practitioner, we have them listed via country. So if you cannot reach Lisa, there are other practitioners in the Netherlands that might be closer to you. So do go and take a look. And if you've got any questions, please feel free to either private message me or Lisa or email us and we will get back to you with answers and maybe arrange a quick little Zoom call together so we can have a chat and see faces.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Amanda. I am so much looking forward to seeing you in the Netherlands. October 2006 is the month.